I am volunteer legal counsel to the local branch of the NAACP and was invited to join the coalition in that way. Since then, I've attended the subcommittee meetings to prepare for a meeting that the State Fair invited the black community to. At that meeting, the State Fair had the representation of their majority members of their board, their executive staff, and the police officials that they contract out with. And the community was represented by a host of community members. At that meeting, the role I played was submitting to the board the community concerns, and the State Fair submitted their concerns. Our basic concerns were the police issues, and we focused the meeting on how the police handled their crowd control measures on Black Culture Day, and we did not discuss the contents of Black Culture Day or anything of that nature, and so the meeting was focused on the police conduct that day. We were very concerned about the fact that the State Fair had come up with a plan specifically for Black Culture Day where they totally inconvenienced all of the patrons attending the fair, from limiting ingress and egress out of the fair, from shutting down various highway accesses, by advising community businesses around the fair there was going to be a problem. We felt that their measures were a shotgun approach, and there was no community participation in the process. And as a result of it, there were people who were actually injured, and there were a lot of hurt feelings, so we submitted that to them. The State Fair's position was that on Black Culture Day, historically they have problems with black youth, and they thought that this day that they would deploy people out of the park earlier prior to the closing, and that they would use the mounted horses as opposed to on-foot police, because they say that the horses were trained and the officers were trained for crowd control, and that they would use sprinklers to make sure that people weren't standing on the grass, and they thought that that was an effective means. They also pointed out that the State Fair, at the request of the State Fair, that they contacted the Highway Patrol, the county police, and the city police, and their officers out there to come up with a specific plan for Black Culture Day. The Highway Patrol suggested that they block off a number of freeway exits, and that's why people had problems getting out. The city police and the county police had no specific suggestions, but the city police clearly pointed out that on that night it is not a gang problem, it's just dealing with moving people, and that they felt that the plan that was come up with by the State Fair bottlenecked traffic, and it wasn't their decision, it was the State Fair's decision. And the State Fair said that the reason that they used the horses the way that they used them were because there were fights that broke out, and so they were trying to break out the fights. And so that was basically their explanation. The way I feel about it is I think that you know, they gave an explanation, but there's no justification to come up with a specific plan for Black Culture Day without any community participation, because what they're doing is what I would consider, which is a national issue, is racial profiling, by saying that this particular group of youth have to be dealt with in a certain way. And you know, the proof is in the pudding, because on that day there were no incidents that justified the type of deployment that they did. It really just was really offensive to the community, and to me, who attended the fair, left about 10:15, and it was really a nice day. And so I think their overreacting caused the problem, and has led to the community organizing, and has led to this whole issue. And so I don't think it was a very good meeting.
Did they seem to be extending themselves to resolving some of these issues, or did they kind of say that it's pretty much going on the way it is, or how did you feel about the?
Well, I think that they did extend themselves to the point that there are going to be future meetings to resolve how they come up with a crowd control plan, and so I think that dialogue will go on. Yes.
Do you feel that the black community is going to be instrumental in the development of that plan, or do you feel that they're pretty much going to decide on their own and present their side to you?
No, I think that I think there's a possibility, and that's up to the community, that if we demand it, there will be community participation. I think, the state fair officials, they're bringing their Texas fair mentality to California, and unless it's demanded, there'll be participation, because they articulated that it is only law enforcement who knows how to handle these problems, but they invited the community to come and help to observe the problems that they have to deal with, but they were trying to come up, there was explanations for the behavior, but there was no justifications, and they were trying to justify the tactics. But I think there's a real opportunity for people to come together. There's a dialogue. There are people at higher levels involved in the process other than the state fair officials, and that is from the Business and Transportation Department of the state of California. Governor's aware of the issue, and other people, and so I think there'll be some improvement, yes.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.